If you've ever looked at a surgical schedule and thought, what do these surgical procedures actually mean? This video is for you. Today, we're breaking down common medical terms used in surgical procedures so you can quickly understand what's being done, what instruments are needed, and how to pick case cards like a pro. Whether you're prepping for certification, new to the field, or just want to sharpen your knowledge, stick around because this info is essential for SPD techs. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Sterile Guy, your go-to channel for all things sterile processing. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. If you're a regular to the channel, it's good to see you again. Decoding surgical terms. Let's dive in. Before we jump into procedures, I'm going to give a quick recap on the structure of medical terms. If you want to take a deeper dive into this topic, check out my medical terminology video linked in the description below. Okay, let's quickly talk about how surgical terms are built. Generally, procedures follow this formula, though not always. There is usually a prefix, a root word, and a suffix. But it's important to know that a root word can also serve as a prefix or a suffix. Now, when it comes to the structure of the term, as far as surgical procedures go, it most often follows this specific format, which is going to have a prefix, a root word, and a suffix. With a prefix, it's the where or what the surgery involves. Think of like laparo, which means abdomen, or arthro, which is the joint. And then it's going to have a root word, the body part being operated on, such as cholecyst, which is gallbladder, hyster, which is uterus. And lastly, we have the suffix, which is what is being done. Think of ectomy, which means removal. Otomy means incision, or plasty equals repair or reconstruction. So essentially, you have the where, the what, and the how. Where are we working in the body? What are we working on specifically? And how are we working on it? Now that you know how surgical terms work, let's break down some of the most common procedures you'll see in the sterile processing department. Let's start with general surgery. These are some of the most common procedures sterile processing techs handle. We'll start with a couple that follow the general format I mentioned, and then touch on a few that follow it slightly differently. Number one, appendectomy. So append equals appendix, and ectomy equals removal. Surgical removal of an inflamed appendix, either laparoscopically or open. So in this situation, append serves as the prefix and the root word because it is the where and what all in one. You only have one appendix, so we don't need to specify where that is. Does that make sense? Now let's talk about the instruments needed, which is going to depend on whether it's laparoscopic or it's an open general surgery. So you'll either have laparoscopic instruments or you'll have something like a general surgery tray. Now let's talk about a mastectomy. We have mast, which equals breast, and we have ectomy, which equals removal. Surgical removal of breast tissue, often due to cancer. With this scenario, mast is the prefix and the root word all in one because we only have one location for breasts. The only difference here is the need to specify which side, whether it's left, right, or both. So we might say left mastectomy or bilateral mastectomy. Bilateral meaning both sides. Moving on to instruments needed. This is going to be something like a general surgery tray, a breast tray, or minor tray, depending on what your facility chooses to use or call it. Now, let's jump into slightly more difficult terms that will require extra information similar to mastectomy, but in a different way. Herniorrhaphy, which is hernia repair. So we have hernia, which equals protrusion of an organ through muscle. And then we have raphy, which equals surgical repair. This procedure repairs a hernia, often using surgical mesh to reinforce weak tissue. Hernia in this instance serves as the prefix and the root word, and raphy is the suffix. The issue with this procedure, though, is it can happen in many different parts of the body. Is this an inguinal hernia, hiatal hernia, ventral hernia. With herniorrhaphy, we understand the what and the how, but not the where. So in this instance, you might see a surgical schedule state something like inguinal herniorrhaphy. Now, instruments needed. These are usually pretty basic trays like a minor, or if the approach is laparoscopic, then obviously adding those laparoscopic approach instruments. It can be a little bit more intense if we're getting into something like a hiatal hernia or a ventral hernia. Now let's move on to a laparoscopic cholecystectomy, lap chole. So we have laparo, which equals abdomen, and we have scopi, which equals viewing. And then we have cholecyst, which equals gallbladder, and then ectomy, which equals removal. This is the removal of the bladder using small incisions and a camera and a laparoscope. Let's break down the two separate words. Laparoscopic. Laparo is the prefix and root word all in one. You might be saying, Brandon, how could this be if laparo doesn't state both where and what? Glad you caught that. Since this is a two-part procedure term, the what comes in the second word. This first term will only state the where and how, which is abdomen and the viewing or examination of. Cholecystectomy. Cholecyst is the prefix and root being the gallbladder, which we only have one of, and ectomy serving the how being we are removing it. So with this entire term, it actually has two prefixes, two roots, two suffixes. It also has two wheres being abdomen and gallbladder. It has one what being the gallbladder, and two hows being viewing and removal. I know this might sound complicated, but once you get this down, it's much easier to understand. You always need to know where, what, and how. Sometimes you'll get all three answers in a single term, and sometimes you'll get them from the entire procedure name that you have to break down. Now, instruments needed. You're going to need things like laparoscopic graspers, scissors, trocars to enter the abdomen, and things like insufflation tubing. Now let's move on to a procedure called a colectomy. So we have col, which equals colon, and we have ectomy, which equals removal. Partial or total removal of the colon due to disease, such as like cancer or diverticulitis. Here we go back to simple. We only have one colon. So the col serves as the where and the what, and ectomy serves as the how. The only thing that may be needed here for better specificity would be knowing which part of the colon might be taken out, such as the sigmoid colon or transverse colectomy. Generally, the instrumentation will be the same, so not too terribly important. Instruments needed is going to be something like a general surgery tray, which will contain bowel clamps and probably stapling devices for the intestines themselves. Next up, let's talk about orthopedic surgeries. These involve bones, joints, and ligaments and require specialized instrument trays. The first one we'll talk about is a total knee arthroplasty, a TKA, which is also a total knee replacement. We have arthro, which equals joint, and we have plasty, which equals surgical repair or reconstruction. Arthro is the term that refers to a joint, whether it be a knee joint, shoulder joint, ankle joint, and plasty is the term that means repair and or reconstruction. So the term arthroplasty itself means reconstructing a joint. Arthroplasty has a what and a how, meaning what being the joint and how being reconstruction. It is just missing the where. And that is why arthroplasty is usually preceded by the where, such as total knee arthroplasty or total hip arthroplasty. The way I remembered the term plasty was thinking of plaster. When I used plaster in school, we were constructing something. So constructing, reconstructing, that helped drive that word home for me. The damaged knee joint is replaced with metal and plastic components. Instruments needed for these would be like ortho power tools such as saws and drills, a knee replacement tray, and some types of retractors. Now let's talk about an ORIF, O-R-I-F, or an open reduction internal fixation. We have open reduction, which equals realigning broken bones with surgery. There is a difference if you are realigning a bone without cutting open the skin, which is called a closed reduction. A closed reduction is usually a more simple fracture that are easy to realign and have a better chance of healing. ORIFs are general for complicated fractures, multiple fractures, or for areas of the body that need extra support for the long healing time frame and stress that will be put on that area. Internal fixation means we are affixing something together, using metal plates, screws, or rods to stabilize the bones. Now, used for fractures like hip, wrist, and ankle that need hardware for proper healing. Now, instruments needed could be things like ortho fracture sets, which can have screws, plates, and drill bits. These could be like small frags, large frags, things like that. Now let's talk about ACL reconstruction, or anterior cruciate ligament, ACL. It's the anterior ligament in the knee. Anterior meaning towards the front. This ligament gets injured in a lot of sports. In reconstruction, with fixing the AC ligament, we are grafting new tissue to replace the torn ligament. Grafting means we take something from the body and put it in somewhere else. In this case, usually grafting hamstring tendons or quad tendons that aren't quite as necessary. Now, this term always intrigued me, considering reconstruction in medical terms is what? Raphe, right? So why was this never referred to as an anterior cruciate ligamentous raphe? Instead, they simply called it an ACL reconstruction, or ACLR for short. I've just always found that interesting. It's probably because that doesn't flow very well. Now, this is common in athletes involving using graft from another tendon. Grafts from donated tendons can also be used if someone chose to donate their body parts. If you've ever heard the terms autograft or allograft, that refers to where the graft is coming from. Autograft is when you take the graft from the person themselves. An allograft is when it comes from a donor. Just a little bonus info for you. Now, instruments needed, you're going to need things like arthroscopy tray, power tools, and tendon harvest tools. Now let's talk about a laminectomy, more commonly heard in the neuro procedures, but not uncommon for an ortho doc to perform a laminectomy. Now we have lamin, which equals lamina, part of the vertebrae, and we have ectomy, which equals removal. Removes part of the vertebrae to relieve spinal nerve pressure. Whether it is from the bone overgrowth, improper movement or alignment, arthritis, anything can cause extra stress on nerves, which could be debilitating. Instruments needed would be like a neurosurgical tray, Kerrison rongeurs, and nerve retractors. Okay, the last area we're going to talk about in this video is OBGYN and urology. These procedures are common, involving the reproductive and urinary systems. The first one we'll talk about is an oophorectomy. Oophor, which equals ovary or ovaries, and we have ectomy, which equals removal. Surgical removal of the ovary or ovaries. Sometimes an oophorectomy is done during a hysterectomy when the uterus is being removed, but not always. If you're like me, you might be asking, why in the heck would the ovaries be left if the uterus is being removed? Well, that is because removing those can trigger early menopause and other health risks for women. This will be pretty dependent on the age and circumstance of the patient. Instruments needed would be like a GYN tray, which could have Heaney clamps, Alice forceps, and retractors like an O'Connor O'Sullivan retractor, for instance. Now let's talk about a DNC, a dilation and curettage. Very common, unfortunately. I've done so many of these. Dilation means opening and expanding something. In the context of a DNC, this is dilating the cervix. This is one medical term where you are just expected to know that when dilation and curettage are together, it is dilating the cervix to gain access to the uterus for a curettage procedure. Curettage equals scraping the uterine lining. Now, this is performed after a miscarriage or for diagnostic purposes. Now, instruments needed, you're almost always going to come across what's known as a D&C tray. And this is going to have your things like uterine sounds and your speculums. And the last procedure we'll talk about here is a TURP, T-U-R-P, or transurethral resection of the prostate. We have trans, which equals across or beyond, urethral, which equals urethra, resection equals cutting out, and prostate equals, well, that simply just means prostate. There's nothing fancy there. Now, this is used to treat enlarged prostate by removing excess tissue. Usually the prostate is oversized, causing urinary issues for men in which we struggle to have a good flow, or we struggle to empty the bladder, so always feel like we need to pee, and then only pee a little bit. I can't wait for that wonderful time of life. Now, instruments needed, you're going to have something like a cystoscopy tray, a resectoscope, and maybe even laser tools. All right, let's recap. General surgery, we have lap chole, appendectomy, and hernia repair. Orthopedic surgeries, something like a total knee, an ORIF, an ACL repair, and laminectomy. OBGYN and urology, you're going to see things like oophorectomy, D&C, and a TURP. Knowing these terms helps SPD techs prepare case cards faster and understand what's happening in the surgery. Now, if this video helped you, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you want to see more videos like this or other topics, plug it into the comments down below as well. Let me know what you want to see. As always, stay sharp, stay sterile. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.